Welcome back to another tabletop review. Today we'll look at the Ruger Charger Brace Ready 22 pistol. Let's start with the question of why did I buy this in the first place? Well, more than 10 years ago, I had bought a laminated stock Ruger Charger 2270, the forerunner of this gun. I saw it as something that I thought my kids would enjoy, especially my daughter. It was certainly weird enough, and it was referred to as a handheld rifle, and I thought, well, with a scope and its tripod, it would be a great plinker gun. As it turned out, I was wrong. After I brought it home and we put about 200 rounds to it, it was cleaned and returned to its box, not to be taken out again for more than a decade. My daughter preferred her Ruger Mark III, and my son had moved on to larger calibers. It was upon seeing this new model of the Ruger Charger that I remembered I even had one. What I liked was the fact that this was a brace-ready model, it was suppressor-ready, and it didn't look as funky as my older version. And I was able to get a fairly good deal on a trade. Now I'll admit that there's an appeal to this pint-sized handheld gun with the accuracy of a rifle. So after a few months of ownership, it's a fair question to ask, did I just trade a useless gun for another useless gun? Let's make sure this one is cleared. Ruger Firearms is a young company compared to some of the other companies selling firearms. However, they're known for good quality and good designs. Ruger has become one of the top-selling firearms manufacturers in the world. The Ruger Charger pistol was first introduced in late 2007. It's based on the vulnerable Ruger 1022 action. By the way, the carbine version of the Ruger 1022 has been in production since 1964. The Charger originally came with a black laminated wood pistol stock with forend, 10-inch matte blue heavy barrel, and a 10-round rotary magazine. Came with the bipod and a Weaver-style scope base instead of iron sights. Although technically considered a pistol, with an overall length of just over 20 inches, it's actually quite large for a handgun. Also, if you include the bipod, it really becomes quite heavy. The bipod attaches to a sling swivel on the stock, and the forehand is easy to remove. Certainly the Charger has been meant to be supported with its bipod to allow for accurate bench or table shooting. Ruger has discontinued and reintroduced the 22 Charger several times. The standard and takedown models of the Ruger Charger were offered in September of 2015 with a black polymer stock and a M16A2 style pistol grip, 10-inch threaded barrel, Picatinny rail, 15-round magazine, and adjustable bipod. The Picatinny rail mount brace-ready models were introduced in 2019. My Charger came in a fairly sturdy cardboard box. It came with a carrying case. Actually, it's a fairly nice carrying case. Well made. In addition to packing foam and other materials here, it's got the manual, of course, and a lock. It's actually pretty standard, but it does come with the tripod as part of the package, which is very, very nice. The takedown model of the Charger, I believe you can obtain a plastic carrying case for that model, and I believe you can actually obtain a plastic carrying case for the standard model as well. In terms of what I added, I did add an additional magazine, 25-round magazine, and I had a 10-round magazine, a 1022 magazine, works perfectly within this unit. In addition, one of the things that really attracted me to this particular unit was the fact that it had the Picatinny rail mount here for the brace, and I picked up an SB tactical brace system, a pistol stabilizing brace. The model 1913 works very, very well. Folds up very nicely. I think that looks pretty cool. Barrel length is 10 inches. It's threaded with a thread protector. Made of alloy steel, matte black finish. Overall length is 19¼ inches. Stock is black polymer. Sights are Picatinny rail. They're ready for any kind of optics you'd want to add. Weight is about 50 ounces empty. It comes with a 15-round magazine, and as I mentioned, it'll accept any of the 1022 magazines that are out there. They all work very, very well, at least in terms of my experience. The safety and the magazine release are standard for the 1022 action. It comes with a adjustable bipod. It has a unit here that it has a rail unit, kind of an attachment system here that can be attached to the gun. And so that rail system makes the attachment of the bipod very quick. That's a great improvement over the old one I had. Let's talk about some of the cons of the charger. Due to technical features such as the magazine being outside the pistol grip, the charger is not legally available in some U.S. states. The Ruger Charger Brace Ready does not come with the brace, it's just brace ready. I think it was Ruger's attempt at making the charger more relevant in today's market to include the brace ready Picatinny rail back here. It was a smart move. Without the brace, it's pretty much a useless gun in my opinion. Stating the obvious, it's an AR style 22 pistol, and there are plenty of options out there that come better equipped with everything right out of the box, and they look more the part. So why opt for the Ruger Charger, which is basically a cut down version of the 1022? The Ruger 1022 action is tried and true. For those of you that are fans of the 1022, you'll love this little cut down version. Parts and upgrades are plentiful out there. This is an extremely reliable unit. This one seems to have no problem with feeding any ammo I put through it, as long as it's clean. Even cheap bulk ammo, and I shoot a lot of Federal that I can pick up for about 4 cents a round. Also, of course, kind of prefer the mini mags, the CCI, if I can find them at a good price, and usually about 8 cents a round. Still not too bad. I can spend the day at the range, stating the obvious here, with a 22 and not spend too much money. So it's a very inexpensive unit to take to the range. The 10-inch cold hammer forged barrel provides exceptional accuracy, so that's very, very rewarding. The standard pistol grip can be easily replaced with any AR style grip, and there are plenty of possibilities out there when you think about it. Factory installed Picatinny rail works well for scopes and red dot sights. It comes with a 15-round magazine that works very, very well, but will accept any of the 1022 magazines out there. All that I've tried out work very, very well. As I've already mentioned, the adjustable bipod comes with the gun, and it's sturdy and it works well. The carrying case is good and I like it. The threaded barrel feature is a 1/2 inch by 28 thread pattern that accepts most suppressors and flash hiders. The big deal for me was the Picatinny rail brace ready mount that was just introduced. Okay, you have to add your own brace, as I said, but the folding brace just really makes this gun work for me. And I'll admit that I like the looks of it with the brace and the suppressor. Disassembling the charger is not all that difficult. There's one trick to remember, and that has to do with the safety. The safety needs to be positioned halfway. If you remember to do that, or if you get into a situation where things don't seem like they're coming apart or going back together, well, then just check the safety position. Usually that's the problem. First thing we're going to do is remove the magazine. And then on the other side here we have a Allen head screw that we're going to remove. It loosens up, it doesn't actually come out of the unit. When we do that, we can then remove the barrel and the trigger assembly from the stock. Next, we're going to remove these two pins here. That will allow us to remove the trigger assembly. Now this is actually the extent of disassembly required for routine inspection, cleaning, and lubrication according to Ruger. If it's required to thoroughly clean inside the receiver, then you have to remove the bolt. And removing and installing the bolt along with the bolt handle recoil spring assembly is not all that hard. We'll go ahead and do it here just to demonstrate that process. First thing we need to do is to drift out that pin here. Then pull the bolt all the way back. Lift up. That allows us to remove the spring and the bolt handle. For reassembly, I always think it's good to know a little bit of the mechanics of what's going on. A couple of things you might want to pay attention to. There is an etched name of Ruger on the side of the bolt here. That's facing to the outside here of the ejector. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to determine which way this bolt is going to be placed inside the mechanism. The other thing is the bolt handle and how that fits. Basically fits like this. So that's what we're trying to accomplish as we replace the bolt handle and spring and the bolt itself inside the receiver here. We're going to begin by placing the spring in, and down here there is a little notch area that the end of the spring is going to go up against. So it's going to sit like that. And then you need a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, to push back on the handle to work that spring all the way back. With the bolt handle all the way back, spring completely tense there, we can now return the bolt. It'll snap into place. When it snaps down, it should then be free to move. Next thing is to replace the pin in the back, the large pin. Work the mechanism a few times, make sure that the bolt is moving smoothly. Then we can replace the trigger system. Just line up the holes for the pins. With the trigger assembly attached to the barrel assembly, we should now be able to return this whole unit here to the stock. Make sure that the safety is halfway. And then we can just screw that unit back on. Ruger's recommended retail price for the Ruger Charger 22 pistol in the model 4923, which is actually an 8-inch barrel, is $309, $419 for the takedown model. And of course the other models' prices vary a bit. The Ruger Charger 22 pistol is a bit of an odd gun. It's not a rifle, and it's not a very functional pistol. It'd be hard to see it as anything more than a goofy toy, but brace-ready format changes things a bit in my opinion. With a brace and a suppressor attached, the shooting experience is greatly improved as its potential function for hunting, backpacking, or as a serious target gun, even more so with the takedown model. But would I buy this again, given all the other AR-style 22 guns out there to choose from? Well, to be honest, I'm not sure. But there's good support for the Ruger Charger and the 10/22 action. It's affordable, inexpensive to shoot. It is fun to shoot, reliable, and its accuracy is very rewarding. It's nicely constructed, looks cool enough, and there's no doubt that the brace-ready model is a great improvement over my old 2070 Charger. So I'll probably hang on to it for now. Any weapon you carry is better than the one you left at home. Thanks for watching. Hope you'll be back for my next tabletop review. Until next time, stay safe.